all the time, right? People are experimenting all the time. The research challenge is to put a bit of structure on that to collect the data that you need to allow you to answer the research questions you're interested in. So consistency is critical, and it needn't cost a lot of money either, particularly in the digital age. I mean, we probably won't have time to explore that now, but digital technologies allow you to observe people's behaviour very, very cheaply indeed, and research can be next to costless.
And I think those umbrella organisations and local government collect a lot of that sort of data. It probably isn't too onerous to do. Another question down here.
I work for a neighbourhood renewal team in Penrith in the western suburbs. My question is around the research you just mentioned, Lachlan. What were some of the indicators for how you know this community is getting better in terms of cultural value?
So in the city of Port Phillip, they actually have been running for over a decade a program that measures what they call smiles per hour, which is a measure that was derived by the community, which is a measure of social connectedness. And the measure is, if you're walking down the street, how many people smile at you. And this sounds like kind of performance art or a kind of real parody of research, but they do have paid members of the community collecting the data on a couple of streets in St Kilda. And they also have a number of signs that let people know that they're in a smiles per hour zone. So the data itself is interesting, but probably what's more interesting is the way in which deciding to measure those things and advertising that you're measuring those things and consistently measuring those things can change people's behaviour and also change people's perception of their kind of community. In Saskatchewan, there were other measures to do with knowing the name of your neighbour, and another measure that I think has become a more widely accepted measure of social connectedness, which is in an emergency, could you get $2,000 lent to you in 24 hours? And that's actually a question that data is gathered now in Victoria through a program called Community Indicators Victoria. So they gather data from all the local government areas across Victoria. They also gather data on arts participation via art form, and they also gather data on people's sense of well-being. And interestingly, Marnie, when she was actually working on that project, did a correlation between people's levels of happiness and the art forms that they were involved with. And everyone who was involved in the arts across all art forms rated themselves as being happier, except people who were engaged in creative writing, and they were more miserable. And I think, you know, this is a humorous anecdote, but this is also a kind of really crucial